from Pennsylvania Mutiny to presidential votes and the 23rd Amendment. The Constitution created a federal enclave for the United States Capitol with these words in Article 1, Section 8. To exercise exclusive legislation in all cases whatsoever over such district, not exceeding 10 miles square, as may, by cession of particular states and the acceptance of Congress, become the seat of the government of the United States. Every word in the Constitution has a story. The Pennsylvania Mutiny of 1783 is part of why the Constitution says the seat of government should be under federal control. This would later lead to the unique political situation of Washington, D.C., and the need for the 23rd Amendment. The Pennsylvania Mutiny sows the seeds of a federal district. By June 21, 1783, the American War for Independence was basically over. On October 19, 1781, British General Cornwallis had given up to General Washington at Yorktown, Virginia. The colonies had signed peace papers with the British on November 30, 1782. The Treaty of Paris, which officially ended the war, would not be signed until September 3, 1783. Except for some British troops in New York, the British Army had gone home. In the summer of 1783, the Third United States and Congress assembled. Before independence, when the colonies met, the group was called the Continental Congress, met under the Articles of Confederation. They met at the Pennsylvania State House. In 1776, the Continental Congress had adopted and issued the Declaration of Independence at this place. This would also be where the 1787 Constitutional Convention happened. It is now called Independence Hall in Philadelphia. Congress met on the first floor, and the Pennsylvania Legislature, the Pennsylvania Executive Council, met on the second floor. The government owed a lot of money, and part of that debt was pay for the Continental Army soldiers. Continental troops were staying in Philadelphia and Lancaster, Pennsylvania. On June 21, 1783, the troops from Lancaster marched to Philadelphia. The Philadelphia and Lancaster troops joined together and demanded that Congress pay their long overdue wages. President of the Congress, Elias Boudinot, basically the President of the United States, but under the Articles of Confederation, the job was mostly for show and had little real power, asked the Pennsylvania Assembly to call out the Pennsylvania militia to protect Congress. Pennsylvania's President John Dickinson said no. The Journals of the United States and Congress assembled for Saturday, June 21, 1783, recorded that Pennsylvania's President John Dickinson advised Congress that it was likely the militia would side with the unpaid soldiers. Congress was denied help from the Pennsylvania militia. It seemed the militia might side with the soldiers. So Congress decided to pack up and move temporarily to Princeton, New Jersey. Over the next years, other cities served as the capital of the United States, including Trenton, Annapolis, and New York City. In 1787, delegates would meet in Philadelphia for the Constitutional Convention. The 1783 Pennsylvania Mutiny inspired the constitutional rule that allowed a federal area where Congress could keep itself safe rather than depending on a state. With the constitutional permission in place, Maryland and Virginia offered land to the federal government for its permanent home. In 1790, Congress gave President Washington the power to choose a site along the Potomac River, and he made his choice in January 1791. At that time, there were fewer than 5,000 people living in the area, and it was believed it would be a government center without many people. Because of this, little thought was given to voting rights for the residents. The Constitution's grant of complete authority to Congress over the district made no provision for residents to vote for any official in any election. Congress has overseen the government of the City of Washington and the District of Columbia since the district was created. In the 1820s, Congress allowed district citizens to vote for a mayor and city council. A territorial form of government was created in 1871, with the president appointing all district officials. In 1874, Congress took back direct control over the city government. District residents were denied all rights to vote from the 1870s until 1961. By 1960, the population of Washington, D.C. had grown to 760,000 residents, more than the population of 13 states. While not giving voting rights to this many people went against the country's principles, politics got in the way. It was expected that if the district could vote, it would reliably vote Democratic. On June 16, 1960, Congress finally sent the following proposed amendment to the states for approval. The district constituting the seat of government of the United States shall appoint in such manner as the Congress may direct a number of electors of President and Vice President equal to the whole number of senators and representatives in Congress to which the district would be entitled if it were a state, but in no event more than the least populous state. On March 29, 1961, with the approvals of Kansas and Ohio, the 23rd Amendment became part of the Constitution, giving district residents the right to choose 3 members of the Electoral College. As expected, the district has been reliably Democratic, and in every election since voting for Lyndon Johnson in 1964, the district's 3 electoral votes have gone to the Democratic presidential candidate. The unique constitutional status of Washington, D.C., inspired by the Pennsylvania Mutiny and written into Article 1, Section 8, continues to have legal impact today. In 2025, President Trump used this constitutional authority by placing the D.C. police under direct federal control and sending the National Guard to address violent crime in the district. This federal action was legally possible because Congress, and by delegation, the President, has complete authority over the District of Columbia. Unlike in any state, where federal action requires using statutory measures like the Insurrection Act, the federal government can act directly in D.C. through its existing constitutional powers. The journey from the Pennsylvania Mutiny of 1783 through the 23rd Amendment of 1961 to the 2025 federal intervention shows the lasting importance of the constitutional framework established by the founders and the mutiny of the unpaid soldiers in 1783. What began as a solution to congressional security, born from the chaos of unpaid soldiers surrounding Independence Hall, created a unique federal district where the national government keeps direct authority to act when circumstances require it. The district, imagined as a small governmental center, became a major American city whose residents gained a voice in choosing their president through the 23rd Amendment. The journey from the Pennsylvania Mutiny to the 23rd Amendment illustrates the evolving nature of governance. Reflecting on this history, it's clear that it laid the groundwork for the federal government's authority in Washington, D.C. Without the Pennsylvania Mutiny, who knows how differently our capital's governance would have evolved. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this exploration, please subscribe for historical and legal insights and share to help combat constitutional illiteracy.